All right, you're good.
Okay, good morning everyone. It's 9:05. I'll call us to order. The chairwoman is out today, so we'll get started. This morning, Madam Secretary, will you do our invocation, please?
Thank you. I'm just going to offer my prayer in my mind, okay? Say good morning to all your relatives. Okay, thank you.
Amen. Oh, thank you, Lorelei. Council, we have an agenda with us, and there is an added item in the executive session, so there are two now in Tribal Council items number 3. Are there any other additions?
I'd like to add W, Earth.
That's the one I'm speaking of.
Okay, thank you.
Any other additions? If not, is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Louis, second by Eric. Yep. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Reading of the minutes from July 17, 2023, mid-monthly Tribal Council meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I move it, Mr. Vice Chair.
Moved by Kenny, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Louis. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 2, July 19th, 2023, the General Council meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I move it, Mr. Vice Chair.
Moved by Kenny, is there a second? Second by Rona. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Item number 3, July 21, 2023, the Treasurer's Report meeting.
I move that, Mr. Vice Chair.
Moved by Kenny, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Louis. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Item number 4, July 24th, 2023, Fire Department Law Enforcement Report meeting. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Louis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kenny. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Finally, item number 5, August 3rd, 2023, special meeting with the WHDC, Winnebago Housing Development Commission. Is there a motion to approve?
Move it, Mr. Vice Chair.
Moved by Kenny. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. In that last motion, which was August 3rd, do you want to be shown as voting, Isaac? No? Okay.
No?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, ratifying 5 signatures. Item number 1, YCIC, permission to solicit funds to put on the 2nd annual mental health and wellness powwow. Is there a motion to ratify? Moved by Louis. Is there a second? Second by Eric. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Item number 2, the Oto Tribal Delegation Room Block Approval out at Winnebago. Is there a motion to ratify? Moved by Isaac. Is there a second?
Second. Oh, cool.
Second by Coley. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Item number 3, Winnebago's request, Worth Entertainment Contract, The Frontmen of Country. Is there a motion to ratify? Moved by Rona. Is there a second? Second by Isaac. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. On to new business, item number 1, Boys and Girls Club request Golf Scramble 2023 fundraiser. I think this is in the packet, and then essentially, do we know what they're specifically asking for?
You're asking for administrative leave
Oh,
for
requesting,
tribal members that want to participate in this golf scramble.
yes.
And what we've been looking at is as long as they're supervisor approved and it's, there's no disruption in services for that department.
It's in your packet, guys. It's on the back side of the page, and the request coming from Greg Bass that they're,
What's that amount? 300?
no, he's asking for admin leave for the participants.
I would support that, Mr. Vice Chair.
Moved by Kenny. Is there a second?
How do they make
Second by Isaac. Discussion, Louis?
how do they make money? What do they do?
They must have an entry fee.
Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. New business item number 2, the NITC October 13th, 2023. Winnebago's hosting.
I don't see the quote.
Let's see.
Oh. 313.20.
Motion to approve.
Moved by Eric. Is there a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Coley. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. No old business to list, so we'll move on to the tribal council items. Item number 1, Lorelei's Title V Article 2 elections.
I just wanted the council to see the code. And one council member had stated that they didn't think that the front office staff should be getting paid to work that day of the regular election. And the code says that they can. It does say that the front office staff that are assisting on that day will be compensated for working that day. So I just wanted to make that clear because there was one council member didn't want to see them get paid for working that day.
Question.
Yeah.
Coley.
Who picks these, actually picks these to work?
Admin
CEO?
must-
CAO?
or CAO.
Well, the election committee itself exists based on, you know, the rounds of discussion that we go through, and then we approve those individuals. The admin staff, though, however, provides the administrative support that they may need throughout the day, so that's basically the staff who's here.
I guess that's what, who picks those, and just to make sure, you know, it's even and everybody gets picked correctly, and, you know, so that's
So
all.
it would be Teresa or Tyresha or Tammy. Because they go get the food and then they stay up here and wait in case there needs to be
Something. yeah.
something.
I don't know why we wouldn't pay them.
So, and that's in the code, so they have to get paid. Because we can't change the code.
Yeah, I
And then-
agree with them getting paid, but it's just, what's the process of picking who?
Yeah.
Liddell, can you answer that?
Or Esther.
Or Esther, sorry.
It's just, as far as I've known, it's just administration staff that's on call. So between, ideally, since I've been on board, there's been 4 of us. So our day starts after 7 a.m. to get the gym ready for the election board to show up, get everything prepared before 8 a.m. And then we're here until after 9 p.m. So throughout the entire day, between the four of us, myself, Tammy, Teresa, and Narisha, we usually take turns and have at least 1 to 2 people here throughout the day. That way, in case supplies are needed or Mary Kelsey needs something, we're on standby here in the tribal office. And we usually use radios, so that way we don't go into the gym.
Rona, did
Hopefully
you?
that helps answer your question.
Well, I think some of the concern was, I'm just assuming, is that they got a stipend, but then they were also claiming hours. So I don't know how far that's true or not, but, just clarification, is that what's done, Linnell?
So everyone has election day off in the policy manual. For the regular election, that's a tribal holiday. And so, and then in the code, it states that they're to receive a stipend.
So the admin receive a stipend or just the election board, right?
Both.
No, the admin, it's in the code.
Oh,
The
okay.
administrative staff who work,
Oh, okay.
they receive a stipend, and it's in the code.
Right,
Alright.
Louis,
we're in the code. What section?
I didn't hear him.
you want to say that a little louder?
Right, in the code.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where?
On page 7 of the code. Where'd I see that at? I just seen it. Oh, up the top it says, oh gee, where'd I see that at? I just read it.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd make a motion to continue to follow the policy.
Moved by Kenny, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Louis. Any further discussion?
You wanna know where the policy
I
is?
just have
on-
one question. In case one of the admin staff is a candidate, they can't work.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried.
Okay.
Item number 2, review of process for the judicial appointments.
Okay, this came up and Michelle Mitchell is on the call, so she can speak to this. It was from the general counsel and they looked at everything. Michelle?
Michelle, you are self-muted.
I found the unmute button. Yes, so we were, in the meeting that we discussed this, when it came up that the chief judge wanted to be reappointed and the council decided that they were not going to move in that direction, we were asked to look at the independent contractor policy that had been developed previously with regard to judges, and also just to look at the tribal code, the tribal constitution, and make sure that any future appointments were done consistent with the tribal code and the constitution. So we looked at the policy and those other tribal laws, and there were a few inconsistencies that we found when we looked at it. Nothing major, but the two I think important ones is that the tribal council, pursuant to the tribal code, it lays out specific requirements when a judge is appointed. For example, in the tribal code, it's very specific about where the position would need to be posted, as well as what needs to go into the posting. And the other issue that we identified when we were looking at the Constitution is the fact that currently when a tribal judge is appointed to that position, that appointment is reviewed by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It's part of the, I think it's an old requirement of the BIA that they would approve any hiring of any legal counsel. And your constitution has that language. But when we looked at the appointment of a judicial officer, there's nothing in the constitution that requires that a judicial officer, that appointment be reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. We don't believe that that's a legitimate requirement. The way that the Constitution is written and those amendments that were made to allow for the judiciary specifically authorizes the council to make that appointment without any further review by anyone else.
And I think if I remember correctly, Michelle, the basis of the opinion that was issued was because the judge does not offer counsel to the tribe itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is there action on this item?
Well, I think if the council directs the legal counsel to give us the wording that we need to change in the independent contract, give us the wording we need to change in the code, then we can just bring it back and approve it. Can you do that, Michelle?
It's actually in the contract. Or I'm sorry, in the policy where it has that language. So yes, we can get that back to you right away. I've already highlighted those sections.
Okay.
That's to get rid of the judge, correct?
This is actually more in relation to the replacement. So the existing judge is already on the way out. That contract, I believe, expires sometime in September. And then this language and the discussion is in relation to how then the replacement would be brought on board.
So like the current independent contract, how we have it worded doesn't fit with a judge's contract, the new judge coming in. So they would provide what language needs to change under the independent contract. And then that legal requirement that's in our code, we don't need to because they're not providing legal advice, they're a judge. So those two would be revised and they bring it back.
Okay.
So there's no specific action on this item?
No.
Okay.
I think it was for discussion too, so that everybody's on the same page moving forward with the process to make these appointments.
Just so we can cover the base, is there a motion to assign this item to the general counsel report?
Motion.
Yes.
Move it.
Moved by Eric, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Coley. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, item number 3, we have 2 executive sessions. Is there a motion for executive session?
Motion for executive session.
Moved by Eric, is there a second? Second by Isaac. Any further discussion? Without objection, we are in executive session at 9:23.
At 9 what?
23.
Okay.
Does anyone online need to stay?
This is Thomas Snow. I don't know where Thomas is.
Christina was in, so
We're taking 10?
not 10. We can do a quick 5, yeah, because Christina needs to move us over online if anyone's staying. We're all here.
We also have the second person, and I don't know if he's here, but his request is in front of us for the second item. I don't know where Thomas is.
So we'll be ready to go at 9:29.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
We're waiting for Thomas. Snow.
Okay. Got Wally Earth out here too, he's waiting for exam too.
And Wally's on there.
Council, would you like me to stay on?
No.
I
don't
think so.
Next.
Shoot. Mr. Chair, should we do Wally since he's here? after the break at 9:29.
go by the policy of, if I knew they were getting paid, I would have applied. I tend to think I'd stay away from something like that, because if it's just for the money, it's not gonna turn out good, but the people that they had on that power committee, I think did a really good job. I just wanna state that.
Thank you, Kenny. Council, from the items in executive session, is there a motion to approve the request from WE in the amount of $384.29? Moved by Isaac,
Second.
second
Would
by,
that be out of tribal council donations? Okay,
yeah, second by Kenny. Any further discussion?
and that's gonna go to that Pioneer Auto?
Correct.
Okay.
He was talking about getting injured. Did he wreck his motorcycle?
He said he was ran off the road.
I'd have to abstain, Vice Chair, unrelated to him.
Okay, all those in favor, please say Isaac, Louis, Coley, Rona, Kenny. Opposed? Abstentions? 2.
LD,
Lorelei and Eric. Motion carried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-2-0. 502. Sorry. 502.
okay.
Okay, the second one is there a motion to authorize the chair to send a letter to the Gaming Commission instructing them to follow their policy?
Move it.
Moved by Eric. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. The other one is the administrative staff is not in the meeting because we excused them from the executive session. But can we have them respond to Isaac's query about the status of the takeover plan? Is there a motion to that effect? Basically instructing the administration to come forward to the council at whatever point it can, quicker, sooner the better. Where is the
like a
documentation?
strategic-
Where is how much it's gonna cost? All the questions that were asked.
It's like a strategic planning meeting.
Plan and costs, right?
Yes.
Or when is the next water meeting? Did
We-
it go to the last one?
Well, we just had physical resources, so we're at the beginning of the month, so we're kind of a ways away, which is why I'm asking for the motion because I know that time is an issue. So
Move it.
moved by Eric, second by Rona. Any further discussion? Again, this will be for them to provide the necessary updates. Maybe not every question is answered, but it's kind of where are we? Any further discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, motion carried. Is there a motion to adjourn?
We have a something.
Yeah, Louis.
We have problems with meth. And so we got to check that out to see if they're dealing with meth there. Because it's we're reinforcing them by not dealing with it. We got to know for ourselves as a council whether they're dealing with meth and get that figured out, because I don't want to help them in any way. I think since they're dealing with meth, that's what's happening. We gotta get together an operation like we took us a long time to get into look at that schoolhouse situation where they had a meth being sold in a house across the school. But we gotta be consistent in working it. And we're developing plans to deal with that. I hope it's not true. But my gut tells me it's true. And I have no proof. But Makes me sick to just hear about it. I see some of these people that are addicted to meth in my own family. They're pitiful. They create all kinds of discord in a family. But I'd like to see that we do something about that. We put together the people that should be working on it. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Eric, is there a second? Second by Rona. Without objection, we are adjourned at 10:24. Thank you, everyone.